So hi guys, these are just some notes to help you a bit more with the passive. I noticed some of you had quite a few difficulties with the homework, so I wanted to explain it kind of, right from the beginning. As you know, okay, ignore this is nothing. As you know, the passive is made from the verb to be and the past participle. So we've got all the different forms of the verb to be, and then the past participle, which, is always the same. That never changes. This is the part that changes. Now, what's the difference between active and passive? Well, if we look at this example, Bob painted the picture. The subject and the focus of the sentence is Bob. We're interested in him. The picture is the object and it's receiving that action. Bob is doing this to the picture. So let's look at the passive. How does this change the sentence? If we say the picture was painted by Bob, suddenly the picture becomes the focus and Bob is not so important. The object in the previous sentence, the picture, becomes the subject. We use the past form of the verb to be because this verb was in the past, and then we use the past participle. Now, the agent is Bob. So it's the person who does it. Sometimes we include the agent, but sometimes, a lot of the time, it's not very necessary. And this is just a little example. So active, Bob does the action to the picture. Passive, the action happens to the picture. Okay, it receives the action. So let's have a look at some notes I made. I know this looks a bit scary and complicated, but don't worry. So, guys, this is everything you need for the basic passive. It has all the structures, and it shows you how it changes with present simple. It's just the verb to be as is. The present continuous is being, and we've got all the different types you need. Even, for example, going to, the picture is going to be painted by Bob. So these 4 words are all part of the verb to be. Okay, I think that's why people get confused, because they don't realize that all of this section is still the verb to be. Okay, but it's just a formula. So I really recommend you copy these notes because it's a really good reference. Okay, let's look at some practice. I'm not going to speak about this too long because I want to focus on the more advanced passive in a moment. But as you can see, here, for example, the film was made in 1942. We know it's was because it's in the past, and the past participle of the verb. Now, I've got some more examples down here using all the different forms that we have in the example above and how it changes to passive. If you want to look at this and practice, you can pause the video and copy the notes. But I am going to move on to the advanced passive. Now, this is what was in your homework. We're going to look first at the advanced passive in the present and the future. All of this advanced passive is really common in formal English, especially in things like the news. So one of the examples in your homework was the police, or no, maybe not in your homework. This is an example I have. So the police think that the criminal is dangerous. There are always 2 ways to complete the formal advanced passive. You can either start with it, or you can start with the object of the sentence, okay? There are always these 2 forms to do it. So you can either say it is thought. Thought obviously comes from the think verb. And then you just add that phrase, and you just repeat the same phrase as the rest of the sentence. Or the more complicated version is option B. So you start with the object of the sentence, the criminal, and then you put the passive plus the infinitive, okay? So it's the infinitive of this verb, which is the verb to be. Let's have a look at some examples so you can see what I mean. So all of these have the 2 options and the 2 ways to complete the advanced passive, okay? So they say the Prime Minister will resign. It is said that the Prime Minister will resign, or the Prime Minister is said, and then we have the infinitive, to resign. Easy. Number 2, the police believe that the robber is a local man. It is believed that the robber is a local man, ba 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 ba. Or the robber is believed, and then we have the infinitive again, to be a local man. So you see, both with the future and the present, we're using the infinitive. It doesn't change. Number 3, scientists think, I don't have any Tipp-Ex, sorry about this. Scientists think that global warming is a serious problem. It is thought, it comes from here, that global warming is a serious problem, or global warming is thought to be a serious problem. Okay? So I think the present and the future forms of the advanced passive are pretty easy. I think where it gets more complicated is the future. So let's have a look at that. Not the future, ignore me, the past. So, the example I used is the one you had from the homework. Experts say that 20 people died in the fire. So again, we've got the same two A and B options that we had here. It or the object. It is said that 20 people died in the fire. Remember, A is the easy option. It's just, it is said, and then you repeat the phrase. Or 20 people are, now guys, be careful. People is plural. You need to use the plural form of the verb to be. 20 people are said to have died in the fire. Now, to have died is called the perfect infinitive. What is the perfect infinitive? All it is the present perfect with to. That's it. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. Okay, here we go. Again, they always have the two possibilities. They believe that all the diamonds were stolen. It is believed that all the diamonds were stolen. All the diamonds are believed to have been stolen. This perfect infinitive, okay, that we need to use. Or the police think that Bob stole the money. It is thought that Bob stole the money, blah, blah, blah. Or Bob is thought to have stolen. Again, going back to this perfect infinitive. And number 3, they say that they invented trap music in the year 2000. It is said that they invented trap music in the year 2000, blah, blah, blah. Or trap music is said to have been invented. Okay? So I hope that these structures and these examples help you see the difference. And if you have any questions, send me an email. All right, bye guys.